All right, finally, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have my cup of tea
Where are you going to put it?
in during the show. I'm just going to hold on to it. It's going to be there.
You're going to leave it on your lap?
I'm going to leave it on my lap.
Okay. Are we level?
We're totally level. We're raring to go. That thing's recording right now.
Just trying to get by to the next fix, living between Wednesdays. Prefer the comics over the Netflix, living between Wednesdays. The first John Romita Spidey cost me lots, living between...
And then said dumb things about them.
The comics.
We got some pretty polarizing opinions this week for our comic selections.
Did we?
Yes.
Okay. What happened?
Well, we'll get to it.
Oh my.
We got to go through our single issues first, and then we'll
Okay.
get to the more tumultuous thoughts.
Tumultuous.
Yeah.
Chris, what did you love this week?
I was gonna give you first because I think.
Well, but
we
you
have
always
overlap.
give me first.
I
So
know.
that's I have multiple things I would like to talk
The
about. So
courtesy.
you go ahead.
1 Million Tiny Fires, you guys.
It's a dang good book.
This is
I
a
agree.
dang good comic. This is a very indie single. I think it's a one-shot by Silver Sprocket Comics. So if your local comic shop likes to pick up small indie press stuff, which we do, we're particularly fond of Silver Sprocket Comics here. This is a tale about a gay couple who move out into the woods and have a spooky time? Question mark?
Is it really?
Have a spooky intergalactic time? Question mark. It's a sexy comic. It's a stressful comic. It's a beautifully drawn comic. I sincerely hope that you pick this up.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oftentimes one-shots are a gamble, especially things that are like clearly kind of hand-lettered and done by one artist, all in black and white. But they do a really beautiful job. The storytelling unfolds at like a dreamlike pace. All of the really visceral gore and like sex is done really beautifully and thoughtfully. And then it's got this amazing like spot gloss.
It's like a holographic Pokemon card.
It's kind of neat because I feel bad because I didn't read it, but I will read it
You should.
with that glowing endorsement. But it somehow keeps like the Cal Art zine vibe, but hyper detailed.
But then is so nice.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know how they got the gloss to match like the purples of the printing, but like just like the look and even like with the publisher name and the moon on the back is so succinct.
It's such a pretty, like, if I ever make an indie book, I want it to look like that.
Yeah, right? Like, and for a $10 one shot, like I've definitely bought zines for that dollar amount that looked not as beautiful as this, and then still love them. But I'm just saying, like, that sort of attention to detail on the cover there really makes it, because you are in for just as beautiful a time in the storytelling as they put on the cover. So you should get this somehow.
1 million tiny fires.
You can probably also buy it off of
A billion
Silver-
little flames.
tiny.
I was thinking
Word.
1 million little pieces, that Oprah book that you had
Yeah,
to
it's
like.
not
That's
that.
not that.
No,
Yeah, okay.
God.
No, but that
Shoot that into the sun and buy this instead.
they made a movie out of that for
I
some
don't
reason.
know
Why?
why.
There's no reason.
Yeah, so probably you can buy it online soon at silversprocketcomics.com or at your local comic shop.
Yeah.
Harrison,
That's me.
what do we do? Because I didn't read a single issue this week, so all my stuff's devoted to trades and
Okay.
hardcovers.
All right. I'm going to talk about an ongoing series, not a new one, because we didn't really have a lot of new series starting this week. I want to talk about Alienated. Alienated, right? Yes, it is called
You didn't read Empire Fantastic Four.
Well, that's it. That's not an issue
crossover?
1. That's an issue 0, Chris.
Right.
But I did read it, and it was like a self-contained little space bop.
A space bob.
Yep. You know, their kids gamble in a space casino. An invisible woman shows up invisibly to help her kids gamble in the casino.
That's
Hey.
not
It's
fair.
it's very in character, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, Empire.
I'm still not sure what
Thanks, Marvel.
I'm still not sure what Empire is. The next big. We'll get to it later.
Well, they canceled like 20 issues of it.
Did they? There's still like 50 to collect for the whole event.
No, now there's like 28.
Ah.
All right, while we're in it, real quick, do you know what Empire is?
The
Like, what's
Kree and the Skrulls have been at war since like
The
the
dawn of time.
60s
Okay.
of comic books,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And now they're not anymore because somebody's united them. What's gonna happen next?
That's it?
It hasn't really started yet.
Oh.
We're getting like we've got like
Issue
4
zeros
different
that are,
issue
like,
zeros that are all like
establishing.
setting it up from different. Just have one issue zero. This is not a rant about the
Marvel
structure of
comics.
event comic books. This is a rant about Boom Studios' Alienated.
All right,
Simon
there we go.
Spurrier and Chris Wildgoose. First of all, I really hope Wildgoose is their real last name and not a pen name.
Yeah.
Either way, I applaud it. Alienated, we've talked about it before, but in case you've missed us talking about it, 3 like middle school, high school kids of varying backgrounds basically get connected at the brain by this cute little blue aliens that can all hear each other's thoughts no matter where they are. And they start communicating that way, and then this little blue alien that's connected to them starts to exhibit different powers that they can use and abuse to certain lengths.
Oh.
And we're on issue 4 now, and I'm enraptured by it because the first 2 issues like had some dark meat to them to make you be like, oh, this is real shit. But like it was like, we're teenagers, there's a blue alien, I can hear your thoughts, oh, don't think weird, blah blah. Like it was fun.
Don't look at what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it was done really well, like good teenage stuff, but now has turned into these kids using these aliens' powers to deal with some really deep-seated trauma that they've dealt with, to do with like teenage pregnancy, to absent fathers,
Oh, wow.
to like not being accepted for your sexuality, and like it transitions so well from one to the other, where it's just like it's so real, like it's just such like
It's stressful, and the artist does a really good job.
art is
of,
the
like,
art and the color is.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to the colorist as well, because I only said the writer and artist's name, and the colors are also stunning.
Yeah, because that does a lot of the heavy lifting for like giving the motif like a vibe, and like when it changes in terms of tone, the interior monologue and stuff, it really like benefits from like a full color treatment of like a different
Yeah.
tone and vibe. Yeah, and that's a lot of the colorist work. So
Yeah.
Andre?
May, great coloring. But yeah, once we get the trade for this, I'm gonna push it on everyone.
Yes.
Because I think
110%.
it'll satisfy a lot of different reading demographics.
Well, it's got
Yeah.
the Spielbergian, like, suburbia utopia, right? Yeah.
It does, yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, awesome book, very good. Put it in your face.
It'll scratch that Stranger Things itch.
Oh, better than.
But we got the teaser for season 4. Guess what? The guy that nobody thought was dead is in fact alive.
Well, I'm glad
Wow.
I'm glad they went and just did that, because no one would be surprised that he was alive the whole time.
As soon as we saw him die, like literally half a second, I'm like, oh, I feel nothing because they're not going to kill him off. And then the 30-second teaser, literally
It's
the
just
only
him.
thing you see in the teaser is him being alive
Yeah.
in like Russia.
And it's unfortunate because like that's not what I watched that show for. Like the thing that kept me in season 3 was like 11 figuring out what she wanted to wear. Like I was like, oh thank God! Like she gets to actually make a decision for herself.
Yeah. Honestly, Detective Hopper is like one of my favorite parts of the show. Like like David Harbour's performance is awesome.
He sucked so much in season 3. I was hoping he died.
But yeah, don't pull a mainstream comic move and just do a really obvious fake death.
Yeah.
We've all read comics. We know what this
If you're
is.
listening, we assume you have read some comics at some point as well.
Otherwise,
Hi, Mom.
yeah. Otherwise, yours. No, otherwise this must make no sense to you, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Jay.
I really liked Killadelphia. The trade came out this week.
And Jay didn't read any of it.
I didn't read any of it,
I think that's one where I fell off after at some point.
I was saving myself for this, and it came out, and I forgot it existed for a second. But I grew up near Philadelphia. I visit frequently when I can, and I like Philadelphia, so it'd be nice to see it in a comic book form. Written by Rodney Barnes with Jason Sean Alexander as the artist on this guy, and Louis NCT. I'm not sure how that works as colorist. They did the art for Robot Lady Hand Ghost Zombies. Empty Zone. I know.
We should do a game of that sometime. Just list off weird shit that's in the comic and see how long it takes you to name it.
That was the original title.
Robot Lady Cool Ghost.
I haven't read Empty Zone, so I didn't pick up on that.
It was one of the first Indie Image Comics trades we ever got at Sidekick.
Aww.
But they have a very crackly, grainy art deco / paint vibe on it, and it definitely translates over here. There'll be, I'm sure, edits right now that'll show close-ups and examples of that. But the story goes is it starts off pretty intimate and then gets bonkers as hell as it goes on, because it stars a detective in a small offshoot place in Pennsylvania. He's not in Philadelphia, but his dad was a detective in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And there was a big old string of murders where people are getting bit and they don't have blood. It's every trope you can for a vampire.
And there's Obama.
And Obama's in there too, yeah. But like, you
goes full balls to the wall.
You get a little frustrated in the beginning of it because you're just like, it's a vampire. We all know it's a vampire. Just get to a vampire. It's like, these killings are only happening at night, and we don't know where the blood is, and like people are going nuts.
And you're like, yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
So it flashes back from the detective in the 90s and his son, who's a detective in a different smaller town, coming back to like clean up his dad's apartment because he just died. He had a heart attack, or his heart just stopped. Oh, he died from yellow fever, which is a very small plague from, Anyway, so he goes up and he finds his journal, he reads his journal, and he's like, hey, I'm totally not dead, come exhume my corpse. And he's like, what? And he goes and he exhumes his corpse, and he's not dead. His dad's alive, and he's now a vampire, and there's going to be a vampire coup from their vampire king, John Adams, second president of the United States, who is building an army of vampires in the cackles of Philadelphia.
When you said John Adams, for some reason I was thinking of Joseph Smith, the head of the Mormon religion.
Not Joseph Smith.
I want to read a Mormon vampire.
A Mormon vampire.
But that one also sounds very good.
Yeah. So it's good. It's really grimy and violent, and if you like kind of abstract, dark, smattered art being flung at you of just teeth, there's a lot of that. There's an awesome like undead dad son dynamic, living son dynamic. They're kind of pitting their detective skills against each other and ribbing each other the whole time because they're not of the best. Well, also there's a cute little history lesson with John Adams. It's not quite as ironic or silly as like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Hey, that is a serious
What is a
piece
Slayer?
of literature. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Is it Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Movie was weird, but I enjoyed the book.
I like the book a lot. I liked all the slavery stuff they had to do. But anyway, we get to it. I didn't like the slavery.
Yeah, I really like all
the slavery.
slaves.
Yeah, that's what I enjoyed about that book. No, but this is a nice gritty thing that like goes bananas because for a while it's like a murder mystery with an undead dad. Just like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then
vampires everywhere.
Yeah, there's a vampire army attacking massive cities at the end of this thing, and like I'm not giving it away. That's the mid part, but like it accelerates really quickly, and the art's cool to look at. So yeah, I highly recommend Killadelphia.
Dope.
Yeah.
Fun fact: did you know that everybody's favorite episode of Game of Thrones? When spoiler alert. When
the show that everyone hated. And
when
got
Arya
banned and
stabs
also
the knight, he's holding her and then she drops her knife into her other hand and stabs him.
Yeah.
That move happens in the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter movie, like shot for shot. It's the exact same move.
Yeah. Well, that's how you kill vampires.
And
by a trick of
Night
the
Kings.
hand.
They could also go
You
invisible,
can see
which I
the
thought was.
future.
Also, kind of happens in the Winter Soldier too, but the other way, he kind of like flips a knife like up into his hand.
Right.
But I love that. It's a good fight scene.
Also happens in The Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh god damn! It's okay, but the knife stuff is really cool. It's pretty much Rambo. Benicio del Toro was trained by a grizzled old curmudgeon of Tommy Lee Jones as like a Kosovo knife guy because the military needs knife guys in the modern civilization.
Obviously.
Knife guys.
Then he comes home and he has PTSD and he goes crazy, so he starts murdering people. So they have to call on Tommy Lee Jones and they just go into the woods and stab each other to the death.
Just send a normal guy with a gun. You don't need a guy who's...
No, you need to get a 70-year-old man who builds a knife out of sheetrock to hunt Benicio del Toro in the woods. I really like that movie.
Sounds like a good movie.
Should we talk about anything else?
I thought there was trauma or.
I thought we were going to talk about
tension
Eat
or what,
and how like
whatever.
the representation of people.
I feel
Oh gosh,
bad.
no. I don't want to vocalize those opinions.
Okay, gotcha.
I feel bad. I feel bad because I really like this artist, and I know that they worked hard on this book.
Sweeney
And
Boo?
and I understand what Eat and Love Yourself is trying to do, and I agree with the message of the book. And I think it's important in those ways. But I also think that it does a poor job of visually representing someone who is overweight. And I think that's a problem in comics, is that we talk about body issues and portraying different bodies more inclusively in comics, but often there's sort of like a glamorized way of doing it that just gives them lots of ass and titties, which is just the problem.
Yeah, and also, granted, there are lots of comics, and I have not
Yes.
read all of them, but it's not very often where I see like larger body shapes in comic books that are not about eating disorders or accepting your body and stuff. Usually you
Yes.
only see it in a book that is specifically talking about that.
Yeah.
More
This
so in
is what
mainstream
this
titles.
Is for,
Yeah.
right? That's the purpose
Exactly,
of this book,
yeah,
is to
yeah.
talk about eating disorders and like body image and stuff. So like I get it, but like when the main character looks almost exactly like friends that are supposed to be like skinnier and more confident,
Yeah.
I am like, it's a little at best confusing.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not intentional, because I know this artist's style is very pretty, it's confusing because they talk about themselves in a way that just doesn't make sense for how they're represented. Which, I know that dysmorphia can be like that.
Yeah.
Like, you see something that other people don't see, and I get that, but, like, I just would have liked to kind of, like, people who I know who want this book or are going to read this book or could be helped by something like this aren't going to feel like they're in this book.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
I do like her big anime glasses.
Oh, yeah.
It's a gorgeous book. Like, I can't take that away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I lack.
She's not fat. She's not fat, and, like, there are people who are fat, and that's what this is supposed to be about. Use a fat person for reference.
I agree.
Like,
I'm bad at picking the right words on these conversations, but no, I think that's a
there's
good way
lots
to put it.
of,
I agree.
like, awesome plus-sized Instagram models and stuff
Yeah.
that are, like, doing cool shit that you could use body reference for.
100%.
Yeah.
Wasn't it you who was telling me that J. Scott Campbell, apparently,
Yeah.
for his thing, because all of the women he draws are just so...
Oh, he's
Like, picturesque
notorious
comic book
for
woman.
The no waist, like,
But
tiny.
wasn't it you who told me that
Yeah.
apparently he uses, like, his wife exclusively for reference photos, and apparently she does look like
She
that?
looks
Wow.
like not a human being. It's insane. I saw pictures of his wife for the first time and was like,
So I gotta say, from like, I think it's very sweet that he just, for many years, has used his wife as a body reference model. That seems like a nice thing to do with your other.
Yeah.
But also, please, no one looks like your wife.
She's not indicative of like a human.
He's just bragging the whole time.
Yeah, you married a tiny, dainty porcelain woman, and I don't know how she's alive, but please.
Speaking of tiny, dainty porcelain women, Bowie came out today.
That's the way to introduce that.
A hardcover, illustrated by which our good
Mike
old sweet
Allred.
Mike Allred.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "That's X-Ray Robot."
And he knocks it out of the park. There are some wonderful visuals
It's so
in there.
Beautiful.
This is a very informative book. If you are a big fan of David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust and all that, you will get that as a.
It's so pretty.
It's a. Yes, it's pretty much reading his Wikipedia with visuals. So in that case, really pretty book, really informative book, terrible book.
If David Bowie were an anime character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of these sort of like biographical comics are this way and aren't as fun to look at. Like the Gygax comic, I wanted to love it.
There was a Gygax comic?
Yeah, about the guy who made D&D.
Oh, okay, got you. I thought you meant the band Gygax.
No.
Okay.
It's super informative. It talks about how he developed the game. It is boring as fuck.
This is a, I don't know, this could just be me. If you're a fan of Bowie, go to town. It's a really well-made thing. I can't argue that enough. But every page, it says a date, what he did, not flowery, it's just like reading a dictionary text, not flowery, and then there's like a back and forth, maybe interaction between characters that isn't very provocative at all. Like it's just like, oh, and then he met Graham Chapman, and he was like, hello, I'm Graham Chapman. Oh, okay, hello, I'm David Bowie. And the next page, 1970, when he did this particular album, and he's like, oh, I released this album right now. Oh, that's kind of neat. So it's almost like it's almost like a kid's book.
For every kid's favorite 80s superstar, David Bowie. 80s? That was his big time.
I mean,
right?
It kind of just breezes through anything I would be kind of fascinated with. Like when it comes to like any kind of like innovation of his career, or if it comes to anything that's rough around the edges, like he has a past that has some turmoil in it and some controversy, and it's just a page, and it's just there was controversy, and that's it. Like, and then it goes to the next page.
Yeah, when it comes to biographical pieces like this, I didn't read this, but I would much rather read a book this thick that like zeroes in on like one thing in their life and tells it in detail versus like here's like a brief telling of their whole life.
It's just the sprawling like what's the word I'm looking for? It's just a sprawling wood chipper and a smattering of David Bowie instead of just like getting to know him as a person or like a particular intimate portion of his life. It's none of that. It's just like a rip-roaring zip ride through David Bowie.
That's very pretty to look at.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous to look at. Don't get me wrong.
It's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
So gorgeous.
Where's the look that every like 20-year-old girl has tattooed on her forearm with the lightning bolts?
The lightning bolt and the silhouette of the head.
Oh, because that was his
That's his split
album.
Actually, I'm a big fan of his latest album.
There it is.
The one right before he died.
Oof.
Black Star.
That's a tough one.
Black Star is awesome.
It's great, but it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Was that this week in comics?
It was.
Oh, we're done. Look at that. Read these or not. Either way, read comics.
Some comics.
Yeah.
With your eyeballs.
Go down our YouTube channel page or iTunes whatever page and look at other things that we have done, if none of these fascinate you, because there's definitely cool stuff that we have read. We have talked about a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Go read some comics. Like that Avengers Pokemon.
We gotta make our own version of that.
What?
I don't
Do
know,
we
just
all-
like a really bad like live action like Valley Village costumes. I don't know.
You want to be captured in a ball?
I be going hard Wednesday to Wednesday.
It only happens 52 times a year.
Wednesday to Wednesday. I be going hard from like Wednesday to Wednesday.
Yeah, hey, pal. You got that one where Superman goes to Supertown? Yeah, I got that one